Hello everyone, and welcome to our session today on increasing your DSR and CSR productivity. Joining us today are Scott Borsodi and Tom Doran from Innovia Consulting. And before I pass it over to Scott, I would like to remind you that this session is being recorded and it will be posted to our on-demand webinar library later this week for you to review and share with anyone. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type those into the questions box. We will get them answered at the end of the session. And so now I'll pass it over to Scott to kick off our presentation.
Thanks, Angie. Good morning, everyone. As Angie mentioned, my name is Scott Borsodi, and we thank you for attending our webinar. There's my contact information for you. I'm a customer engagement specialist with Innovia Consulting, and we're going to talk a little bit today about increasing productivity with your DSRs and CSRs. I have 25 plus years food service experience, so have worked in this field for quite extensively, and there's a lot of concerns today, and we're going to talk about how maybe Dynamics Business Central can help your company and your DSRs and CSRs. So being able to view current prices, having everything in real time, having last price paid, last order quantity, all of this information at their fingertips in the field or in the office, be able to monitor their inventory, manage customer pricing. All that's important to be able to help them be more productive. So what that means to them is, and to you, is that they don't have to call other people for information. Every time they have to stop and put a customer on hold, in other words, pause that, I'll get back to you, all of those things reduce your opportunity to close a sale right then. If you have all the information, you continue on with the process. You don't have to call a customer back and take other people's time. All those efforts tax the organization and require you to have extra employees to meet the needs of the customers, the sales reps, the inside internal CSRs. And being able to provide them with all that information at their fingertips allows you to be more fluid. And as everybody's under margin pressure today, I just recently saw a little blurb about some large distributors that are reducing workforce. Everybody's under pressure. They have to pay drivers more. There's just a lot of pressure for margin today and profits, and all of these things contribute to the opportunity being able to make your folks more productive. So, again, in that manner of productivity, being able to monitor customers' AR, that's important. I hear that a lot of distributors are trying to get away from reps having to collect checks. Great. If you're live in the system, you can take a credit card right there on site. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to send anything in. You can process a credit card, do an ACH transfer. You can collect your money and not have to take a check. There's no float. Those days are over. So once again, productivity. Quicker to get your cash, great opportunity. Access recipes, be more consultative selling. As DSRs are needing to manage more customers and our customers are doing online order entry, you need to consult with those folks. And so what this opportunity is to provide all those tools at your fingertips. So recipes, cross-sell opportunities, access to MSDS information, because if you're integrated with Outlook and Dynamics Business Central, you have access to all this at your fingertips. You no longer have to make those notes for follow-up. You just complete the transaction and meet the customer's needs right there while you're on site and interacting with them. So it makes you more of a consultant to your customers, and that's the way we are interacting today. So Tom Doran is going to take us on a little tour of Business Central and show you how all this might work. So with that being said, let's take a look, and I'll turn it over to Tom.
Great. So a couple of things to keep in mind. So Business Central is part of the Microsoft suite, right? So many of you folks are using Microsoft products already: Outlook, Word, Excel, Power BI. And so your dynamic system will just be one more piece of that puzzle. And the investment that Microsoft has made, which is literally billions of dollars in integrating just your primary office tools, Outlook, Word, Excel, with your back-end system, enables you to be fluid. It gives your people instant access to information. As we all know, a lot of people live in Outlook. And so if we're running Business Central, you can see here I've got a email from a customer. So if I'm a rep in the field or a customer service person back at the ranch, he's asking if we can give him a discount. I can quickly click on the button. I can get right to the quote that he's referring to because the system's integrated. So it recognizes that Jeff works at Hershey, and it recognized that quote number. So all I have to do is click a button, and it brings me right to the quote that I want to talk about. If I need other information about his account, I can find out receivable information, payable information, whether they owe us any money, all at the click of a button. But where I live every day, so not that we're not in Outlook an awful lot, because that happens, and that's what Microsoft's tried to make easy. But when I'm in the primary system, then we've built ourselves some dashboards. And so Microsoft basically went out and they interviewed people that actually do the work. So they sat with customer service folks. They went out with people in the field, and they said, okay, look, system's all great, but I need you to put the things that I care about right in front of me and take the stuff I don't care about and get it out of my way because it's confusing. So Microsoft developed the concept of these role centers. And essentially what they're saying is, look, in order processing, and these would be configured just for you, but to give you examples, I want to see what my open orders are. I want to see anything that's delayed that didn't ship or only shipped partial. I want to see a report every day that gives me my projected shorts so that I can proactively talk to customers. Give me a little bit of a view as to my orders that are out. And then the big time saver are notifications. So we've all lived in the environment where somebody's got a question on an order, or a vendor didn't deliver when we thought they were, things that require us to interact with the warehouse or interact with the customer in order to keep the ball moving forward. And so you can see here that we wanted to communicate with Chad in the warehouse, but we've got this order that we've been working on, and it gives us a running history of the conversation. So, if I wanted special pricing, so you can see here that we agreed to give them a 5% below sales cost approval. Garrison wanted to look at it. We needed to get it ready to ship. So the entire conversation from request to approval stays with this order and transfers with it, so that if somebody has a question after the fact, they can come back and say, hey, why did we arrive at the gross margin on this order that we arrived at? And we can see who had the conversation, where the approval came from, and it all stays there, so that we're not wondering, a week or a month later, why we were where we were on a given order. And I got all of that in my notification box. So nobody had to gather up paperwork or go scan a document and put it in an email. I can ask the question, I can send the note, I can get the answer, and it all happens right on my screen. So that is a huge time saver across organizations. Scott also talked a little bit about how we help our customer service folks and our field people work with our customers more effectively. So, first I've got a few, shortcuts set up. So as a sales rep or as a customer service person, I'm worried about sales orders. I'm worried about returns. I'm worried about credits maybe. I want to see items and customers. I don't want to see, you know, just quick, I'm going to click over here. I don't want to see all this other stuff that could potentially clutter my mind, clutter my day, make it harder for me to find what I'm looking for. So when I click on my home screen, it brings me right back where I was. I've got my shortcuts. I've got my ribbon to help me get through what I'm trying to navigate. So in this case, I happen to be on Treasure Bay Casino. All of these fields are sortable. I could sort by name. I could sort by rep. I could sort by route, any field I want. So just like in Excel, I choose my columns. I can sort and filter by any column I like. But once I'm on my customer that I'm looking at, I get a nice snapshot as to, you know, how many orders are open, you know, do they owe me any money? So maybe they're calling in, they're trying to place an order. I want to be able to see at a snapshot what they owe me and take action on that, right? So I can see the orders, the invoices that are open. I can talk to my customer. I can quickly email this to the customer if I wanted to. If they're ready to give me a payment, I can take their credit card right while I'm on the phone, so that I can help continue to keep our business moving forward. But also, as Scott said, make sure that I don't get inappropriately stretched out by folks that are trying to use my money to run their business. But, you know, in most cases, I've got the customer and they're trying to give me an order, right? So one click, I click the order button. It fills in all the customer information. It brings in their next available route date so that that already loads. And so the next place I go is my order guide. So now all my customers' items are here, and, you know, they're telling me they want 2 of the 20-pound ground beef, and I don't need, whoops, my document number. What did I do wrong? Oh, because I didn't fill in. Let me back up 2 seconds. So I didn't give myself the sales order number. So when I've got my header here, I'm all set. I'm got my number, so I hit my order guide, and so now I'm ready to go down my list. So, you know, they're giving me the orders for all the items that I'm looking for. So lobster ravioli, you know, some corn muffins, some apples. You get the idea. So it allows me to come in and search if I've got a question, taking my orders. If I've got a really long order guide, it allows me to search on items that I want. While I'm on the order guide, it's giving me all the information I need, right? So what's my current price? What's the last price they paid? How many do I have in stock? How many did they order the last time? So that I can help the customer, you know, because we all know that they call in and they think they've got their order together, but invariably they have questions. And so we want to make sure that we've got the information right in front of our face to answer those questions for them. But we move through the process, we take the order with the order guide, and then the lines are on the order, and we're off to the races. So now this order is ready to go, and you know, the folks in our shipping department have everything they need to get this thing routed and delivered successfully. If customers like email confirmations of the orders, those can be set to go automatically, or I can kick it off one-off and email that customer a confirmation of the order I just took, and give me the opportunity to do that all in just a couple of clicks. That's handy. The notes that we were talking about a minute ago. So if they said, you know, be sure not to deliver, you know, over lunch. And then I want to notify, you know, maybe I want to notify a route driver, or I want to notify whoever. Then you'll see that when I get back on there, so my note is there. I've given the proper warnings or information to the folks that I wanted to talk to. And now you'll see here that my note popped up right on my roll center. So, you know, if my route drivers have cell phones, they'll have a roll center for them as well. And so we can pass those notes out to them. They can, you know, open up and maybe let us know. So if we had a question, we wanted some feedback. So, you know, orders delivered successfully. and I could send that back to whoever needed to know, or if I didn't want to notify them, I could just make the note. So I can enter notes as well that are just informational. And so there, I didn't notify anybody, I just put it in there. But when I close this, then the person I notified got notified, and the people that I had, I just wanted to put a little historical information in that order, I was able to do that. So, very quickly, very simply, we have the ability to give our folks the field screens and information they need to answer questions quickly and easily. We can also schedule follow-up tasks. So if I want to, make sure I'm following up, or maybe I'm working on a new route and I want to make sure that, my rep in the field is making the right number of calls to get a new route set up. I can manage all those follow-ups. If I wanted to set a filter, maybe I was working just with a particular sales rep, so I could filter to this value. Now I'm just looking at Jim's stuff. Maybe if I thought I needed Jim to have a little bit more hand holding, I could save a view and call it, Jim's tasks. And so now once I've done that, I don't have to set that filter again. So when this loads up, I've got Jim's tasks lined up right here. So I click on it, I see all Jim's stuff. Same idea for our customer service folks. So in many of the companies that I've worked with, our customer service people actually work with a particular sales rep. So in this case, I'm going to go back and show you in my choose columns. I'm going to go down and I'm going to find my salesperson. I'm going to move that one up actually, and I'll put it above the freeze pane so that I can see, always when this screen loads, I want the sales rep right next to the customer name. And in this case, I want to see all of Jim's customers because I'm going to be supporting Jim for the next couple of weeks, or maybe I have my customer list that's normally loaded, but somebody's on vacation. I'm going to help cover a route for them. So I could again save this filter and call it Jim's customers. And so that way, when somebody calls in and they know that they're Jim's customers, I don't have to worry about resetting a filter. I've got Jim's customers right here. So without having to set filters, run lists, I can bring up my short list of all the people that I work with for Jim. And so, if I'm calling down to get orders and see, did I get the order this week? I can work my list quickly. I can look in and see if I got the order or not. So I know who I need to call and who I don't need to call. All of these things lend more productivity. They make it easier for our folks to do their jobs, and in the end, hopefully enable us to win more business. So hopefully here's just a few tips as to how Microsoft Dynamics can help your customer service and district salespeople be more productive and more successful. And if you're interested in a deeper conversation, I'd be happy to go deeper with you one-on-one. But for now, Scott, I'll turn it back to you.
All right, thank you, Tom. Thanks for that great overview. Do we have any questions, Angie?
Yes, we do. We have a couple that came through. Can ACH payments be handled by the CSRs and DSRs?
Good question.
Go ahead, Scott.
Go right ahead. You were starting out.
So yes, they can, as long as they have the privileges. So the system handles direct debits and ACH authorizations, and so as long as our customer has given us permission to draft their account, and we give our customer service people the rights to do that, then they could do that. What we find with most of our customers, again, is by using notifications, I notify finance that the customer's authorized us to take a direct debit, and then finance lets us know when they've taken the debit and we can release the order.
Thanks, Tom, for that. And that, continues with, our objective here in gaining productivity. But, by those notifications, we don't have to call people. It cuts down on the time and the interaction. It makes the whole process more fluid and allows us to be more productive. Other questions, Angie?
Yes. Are DSRs logged in real time?
Yes, they are. So while they're out and about, when they actually log into the system, they're not live all the time, but when they sit down with a customer and log in, they are live in the system. So they're able to see everything that you would see if you were in the office. So there's no lag in informational updates. All that information is communicated so that it keeps everybody in the system. So the buyers know what's going on. Transportation sees everything, so there's a huge benefit in the organization by having everybody in real time.
Scott, and I would add one of the things that makes Microsoft Dynamics unique is that, in many systems they say, oh yeah, you have remote access. But, the fact is that what you see remotely is what you see when you're at your office. But when you're remote, you got a little less real estate on your screen. You're probably looking on a phone or you're looking on a tablet. And so Microsoft Dynamics is what the term is called device aware. So basically what it means is that the technology has been programmed so that when you log in, the system understands, oh, hey, Scott's logged in on his phone. I need to present a screen that is appropriate for a phone. He's logged in on a tablet, so it shows him a screen that is appropriate for a tablet. And so, you get things that behave the way apps look, in everybody's normal life. So if you're using an iPhone or you're using an Android phone, if you go to the Google Play Store or the iStore, and frankly, if you want to test us on this, because a lot of times people, they like what they hear, but they don't always believe, go out to the Google Play Store or go out to the App Store and just type in Microsoft Dynamics, and you'll see those apps are out there for download, and that's how it works. So the system will know what device you're using, and it will give you the information in a format that makes it easy for you to interact with it.
Thanks for that addition, Tom. I appreciate it. Angie, any other questions?
That is all the questions that we have for today. Please feel free to contact us if you have any additional questions that you would like to discuss.
And as Angie mentioned, this will be published on our website, so you'll be able to view this and share it as appropriate. So if you're interested in learning more, there's my contact information. Please call, email, reach out. We'd be happy to talk to you in more detail. And check us out for our upcoming events at our website as well. And we appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Scott and Tom, for presenting today, and to everyone on today's call, or if you're watching on demand, thank you for joining us. We do have a few more webinars coming soon. On Tuesday, February 12th, we have Per Moggensen from Merge Tool presenting on setting up security in a few hours with easy security. And then in the afternoon on the 12th, we also have Daniel Palmer from Innovia Consulting. He will be presenting on creating and using a new production BOM. So if you're interested in any of those webinars or any of our future webinars, please register for those. And Focus is coming up in March in Houston, Texas. All the details for Focus are listed under our conference page on our website. If you're interested, please register. And we also have our customer conference coming up in April in the Wisconsin Dells. Contact your rep or visit our conference page where we have all the details listed there. We would love to have you attend, and so rooms are going fast, so please register now. All right, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
Take care.